dangerous.
Yeah, we hear everything. We want to hear.
All right, you ready, Jeannie? I'm ready. Jeannie?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, wow, they're spiced up. At 5:32. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the City of Millville work session for June 19, 2018 at 5:32 p.m. I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Santiago.
Here.
Commissioner Pepitone.
Here.
Vice Mayor Parent.
Here.
Commissioner Udalovis.
Here.
Commissioner Cooper.
Here. We all stand and salute the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, was advertised, posted, and made available to the public as required by law. The municipal clerk is directed to include a statement in the minutes of this meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any review changes to this agenda?
No, Mayor.
All right, we now open up the meeting for public comment on agenda items only. Anyone that would like to make a comment on an agenda item, please step up to the mic, state your name and your concerns, and limit your comments, please, to 5 minutes. Seeing no one, I close the public comment portion of the meeting. Presentations.
We have a presentation by Bill Horn of Art C, community-based project with RRC and the Lavoie Theater. Floor is yours.
Mr. We may want to separate or go. I think it's best for us to go down and sit in the audience.
I was going to say, if you guys
Yeah.
come down.
Yeah,
I'll hit
best.
the light.
I'm a visual person.
I'm going to sit right here because I can see. Jimmy, do you want to take my seat?
Are you going to be the only one?
I should see here. Shut up.
I need more water. It's about the chair.
I'm going to stand up here. My name is Bill Horn. I'm from RC. I've been here. A lot of new faces. Last time I was here, I think Mayor was here. I don't recognize anyone else right now. But what we're doing, we come into town every now and then and do projects for the arts, with the arts. This project, we're working with the Renaissance Center. We're working with the Lavoie Theater. We're doing two things in September. We're having 2 documentaries premiering at the Lavoie Theater, and we're doing an exhibit at the Riverfront Renaissance Center. The documentaries are a re-edit of the art spirit. We did a documentary 6 years ago about Pat Witt and Barnes Studio of Art that was extremely successful. We premiered at the Lavoie Theater. It then was on NJTV for 6 years. They kept running it and running it and running. So Pat keeps doing stuff.
Yeah, can you speak into the mic? We can't pick anything up.
If you'd stay there and use this one.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
You can take it off, go home, you just leave it. And you probably pick you up just stand there.
Is it picking me up?
They'll come and complain if they're just sitting in there.
Let me know if you can't hear me. You got it?
There you go.
Here we go. I feel like doing karaoke now. So anyway, 6 years ago, we did a video called The Art Spirit, a documentary on Pat Witt, and we premiered at the Lavoie Theater. With tornado warnings, we had 300 and some people show up. So it was very successful. Ran on TV for 6 years, and it boosted Pat's business considerably, and she loved it. Everybody loved it. But Pat keeps doing stuff. This was 6 years ago. Since then, she's had a one-woman show. She has community outreach at the Barnes Studio of Art. They've added a new teacher. So we said, let's re-edit and add to this one. We have video from her one-woman show. We went back to the barn and did new footage and new interviews. So we're going to be re-editing that and premiering that one at the Lavoie. And then we're also doing one called Shattered Portrait of a Glass Factory. So everybody knows the history of Millville and the glass industry. Millville was brought up around the glass industry. And then when it closed, it changed things. There's no question about it. But they're now picking up the pieces. There's different things that are being used to bring the economy back, and the arts is one of them. So this video ties in the glass factory, the close of the glass factory, and some incredible art done by these two gentlemen right here, photography, done inside the closed glass factory. This I have to play from here. No, it's not. Why did it play? All right. It worked earlier, guys.
If you look at Pat Witt's hands, you will see they are strong and supple, the hands of a woman who makes things,
Hold on.
and who has done so since her youth. She spent her life observing sunrises, sunsets.
All right, it was fine before. Sorry.
If you look at Pat Witt's
not right.
hands, you will see they are strong and supple, the hands of a woman who makes things, and who has done so since her youth. She spent her life observing sunrises, sunsets, and interpreting them on canvas, in paintings where reds and violets light the sky, and also the green marsh. She has painted the same scene thousands of times, and each time seen it differently. And now, though many years
Well,
have
there
passed,
is a beautiful video that goes with that voice.
her hands can still
You can
hold
see it here,
something
unfortunately, and it worked fine earlier. So, and I do a lot of presentations. I never had this problem before. Let me just try one more time, see if I can. Hold on. What's that?
There's no IT. There's no IT.
There's a hand on the screen.
If you look at Pat Witt's hands, you will see they are strong
I don't see it.
and supple.
No, it's not because of the light.
Who makes things, and who has done so since her youth. She spent her life observing sun.
Do we have any technical people in the audience? Did somebody? Yeah, because you wouldn't hear the audio if it weren't. Let me just see if one of these other slides is working.
Yes, I did. I have this one.
We got audio, but we're not seeing. All right, let me just try something. I'm sorry, guys. That's why I come early. Let me cover it twice every. Okay. I got Windows. Hold on. I think I may have it.
Connection looks right.
Yep, it's showing now. I don't know. Let's try it. I know, but let's see if it plays this. Slideshow. Sorry, give me a second.
Display.
It should. Well, let's try this. Where?
Slow button right here.
That one? No. That one?
No, one to the right of it.
Okay, it's working.
That's working. There you go.
All right, good. Thank you.
If you look at Pat Witt's hands,
There we go.
you will see they are strong and supple, the hands of a woman who makes things, and who has done so since her youth. She spent her life observing sunrises, sunsets, and interpreting them on canvas, in paintings where reds and violets light the sky, and also the green marsh. She has painted the same scene thousands of times, and each time seen it differently. And now, though many years have passed, for her the colors still glow. Her hands can still hold someone else's hand and help that person to see at the Barn Studio of Art.
This is the trailer for Shattered.
From the outside, as you go by, driving down the street, things look fine until you get inside.
We did a pre-scouting visit. It was about a 2-hour walkthrough. I was just amazed as to the level of abandonment. The paint, the ceilings, the walls, the floors, everything had deteriorated beyond what I could imagine.
This plant was Millville. Everyone had someone in their family that worked there. It's going to bring back a lot of memories to some people, the memory of what once was a very proud industry.
The image speaks to me for what it was. Closets, locker rooms, old shoes, old shirts, old tools.
I thought this has to be done in black and white to show the history, the decay, shots of doorways and panels and stuff. But they ask more questions than they answer. What went on inside that door?
You don't know what the final image is going to be until you're close to it.
I posted the trailer on Facebook this morning. It's already gotten over 1,400 views. The video itself, this is just a trailer, the video itself is also going to get more into how the arts are playing a part in Millville now. So it's going to go from the glass industry and what happened, and then it'll feature the photos by Tom and Dave, and then it'll touch on, too, everything else that's going on in town with the arts and promote the arts. Because the arts are one of the pieces that we're picking up to make Millville work. So we want to stress how important the arts are and how much they can be an economic force, especially since we no longer have the factories to do that. And there's going to be an exhibit at the Renaissance Center that's going to be 30 photos by Tom and Dave, framed, beautifully printed. And there's going to be paintings by Marina Tao, who's a famous watercolorist in South Jersey, and Michael Zambelli. And there's going to be glass work from the original glass plants, from the original Wheaton factories. So this exhibit, and just judging by what I saw today on Facebook, the comments, how people remember the glass factory, remember their father walking off to work, and the whistle, and the lunch pail, and everything that goes with it, it's going to draw a large crowd of people. There's no question about that. One of the things I've also done, we're going to be at the Lavoie, and I've been doing the commercials for the Off-Broad Street Players, and part of the deal is I'm going to be doing that again.
Raise your voice. Sister Act, the musical, is dancing onto the Lavoie Theater stage now through May 14th. Based on the hit film, this musical, presented by the Off-Broad Street Players, will give you a reason to rejoice. You won't want to miss this glorious, high-spirited extravaganza. You can buy tickets today by calling 856-327-6400 or by visiting our website at lavoie.net. Sister Act is the best musical of the season, bar none.
So the last time, a couple of years ago, we came into town and did Click. We brought in some of the best artists in South Jersey, some of the best photographers, and you can ask, I'm sure Diane will speak to how many people that brought into town, how many people brought into the Renaissance Center. Last year we did Photo SJ with the city's help, and we brought in hundreds of people to take classes and workshops, and also to see Charles Glatzer, who's an internationally known photographer at the Lavoie Theater. So we've been bringing projects in. This is one of the workshops at the Arts Innovation Center. We also just did a short video on the Arts Innovation Center and the Clay College with Jackie that got a huge response. So we're still coming into town all the time and doing stuff. And by doing this project, we'll be coming into town even more. This is from the barn. That's from Oklahoma. So the cost for putting this all together is going to be blah, 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 about $10,750. So our estimated income, ticket sales, sponsors, program book, City of Millville, please, please, and our total incoming income would be $11,500. Part of that will go back to the Renaissance Center and to the Barnes Studio of Art. we've offered to give them some scholarship money for students at the barn, and we're going to help the Renaissance Center with any money that we raise. So that's pretty much it. Thank you. Diane, can you dark?
Yeah.
Just say, can you give a little?
Yeah, it would be nice, huh?
If I could just give a little bit of info, as Bill discussed, the collaborations we've done with Artsy have brought in many more people. We're always busy on our third Fridays, and throughout the month we're busy enough. But when we've done the collaborative projects, there's more to it than just the third Friday opening. We have other receptions like the documentary night will benefit everybody. I would say it increases our audiences throughout the month when we're doing things like this together, at least by 30%, probably more than that. I don't have actual numbers. This type of event with the tie-in to the history of Millville, I think will be very sentimental, touching, emotional for everybody, and something everybody wants to see. I know that part of the factory is being reused again, which is, an optimistic take on things, but that connection with the arts, to look at the history, so many of the glass artists became artists. Tony DePalma, for example, started doing his fabulous paperweights back in the day. So there's been a long history of a tie-in to the arts through the glass industry. So, of course, Wheaton Arts and everything else. So I just wanted to add that to it, that it's a fabulous thing to be able to collaborate with Bill on these projects and the videos and the give back he does for the Levoy with doing their promotions as part of the package. It's wonderful. And he's done many promotions for us as well. Thank you.
And one last thing, the documentaries will be on TV after they air in the Levoy Theater. They'll be aired on SJT today, so they will get a lot more airing once they're shown.
Great.
And we'll be using them in other places, so it's going to bring more people into Millville. They'll become more aware of Millville, what's going
Beautiful
on in
idea.
Millville. It's a really positive thing.
Thank you. Any other questions, commissioners?
I just
Anybody?
really like the fact that you struck into the past to bring back what Millville, like the foundation of what it was, and hopefully it would give us an opportunity to refocus as we look to the future on where we came from. That was pretty good.
Well, that's what we're trying to do. Acknowledge the past, look at the present, and then go towards the future. And we see the arts as a big part of it.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot more that can be done to promote the arts in Millville and bring other stuff forward.
Thank you.
I know Pat Witt, the art studio, the barn, we have a copy here that her students made 1989, and it's the holly leaves right up there. Young students made that and gave it to us back in 1989, and time flies, but it was a great program then, and it's a great program now, and the arts are here to stay. We are committed, at least I know I'm committed. I think, Diane, our involvement, with the Levoy Theater. The Pierce family is very good friends of mine. It's a great thing that we have here in the city. People from all over come to the shows. All you hear is great comments, and it's an asset to our city. And the arts are important. It was a multi-billion-dollar business at one time in South Jersey back when I talked to Glenn Lowy, Glenn, Diane, and Nick Aselta, former assemblyman, got us into the habit of an arts district with Dr. Kim Walker, Harris now. So we go back. We go back to some history about bringing arts into this community, and it's probably one of the best things we ever did. I want to thank the volunteers at the Levoy Theater. You make it work, you make it happen. So we appreciate that.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to thank you again for bringing it to our city. As the assault is on nationally against art, you guys managed to keep moving forward, especially in schools. I know how they look at art as just something that's just not needed, but I think we all understand how effective it is in terms of developing in our children. And speaking of children, do we do much to market to them so they can come out to see this kind of event?
Oh, yeah.
So I can speak to that. We have our ACE, Art Creates Excellence Summer Program in its 19th year at the Riverfront Center through the MDC, who partner with on that. We have students from 7 to 18 years old. So of course they hear of events going on. The parents come out for the reception. The women will be there at the reception giving them certificates at the end of the month. We do it from July 9th to August 3rd. So they hear about things going on. Of course, Pat promotes like crazy to her students, and we talk often. Pat calling me. I was Pat's neighbor when I first moved here 20 years ago. As luck would have it, I was her neighbor. So she calls me all the time in the arts, and we have great conversations. So behind the scenes, there's always partnering in the arts. There's no competition. It's all for the same cause. So the children can hear about it. We have contacts within the school. That's something we can really push.
Yeah, not only the schools, as you mentioned, we had hundreds of students downtown one day just going through the arts and seeing what we have to offer. And it's, I know in the school system, we have a lot of young people interested in the arts in our city. It's not amazing to me because I see it.
One of the things we added to the Art Spirit was the community outreach. They're reaching 750 years in the community outreach program. So we're going to find a way to make sure these kids get to see the videos and see what we're doing as well. But it's a great program, and it wasn't in the first video that they weren't doing it. So we added that into this version along with some other things that they're doing at the barn. They just keep growing.
I think that's the key word there, growing. I think the foundation has been set by previous commissions, by the city itself, and it's time for us to grow.
And I have to add that Pat herself contacted me a couple months ago. She did her one-woman show at the Art Center last October. They were only work, which is amazing. Didn't let anyone see what she was doing. He got to photograph it while she was in it. She called me to add this October. She wanted a student show in the center again, which is for adult students. So I got that on the schedule. So that's the month after this is occurring with Shattered and her documentary. So of course, more talk, more promotion, and
Excellent.
students coming out.
Excellent. Anyone else?
I just had a question just for the gentleman with the photographers. What was your inspiration that made you want to go, do Shattered?
Well, I worked in the industry for 30 years. Not in the main plant. I worked in the scientific division as a hand glass blower. But I had other friends and relatives. My wife worked in process engineering. And I always wanted to photograph inside that plant, especially after it closed, because I knew from photographing just the things that we're losing here in South Jersey, the marshlands, the waterman sheds. I knew it wouldn't last forever. And Tom and I have been for about 3 years been trying to get into that plant to document it, to save it. There was a big mess with who owned it and insurance and this and that and the other. We finally got permission from the previous commission. And we spent 3 days photographing it there. But I think it's important to document that and record it to save it for what it was. Now all the machinery is gone, but the buildings and the history is still there.
Yeah, I find that it's just so fascinating. I can't wait to see it. Did you actually find the boots next to the box in that picture? Or did you move those boots next to the box? Come on.
To be honest about it, my photograph, that is the only, if I recall correctly, that is the only prop that actually was moved. Everything else was in place.
But they were there. They were on the shelf right next to me.
I'm sorry, I gave the secret away. I'm sorry, guys.
My inspiration, I've been doing photography for about 30 years now. I also work for Wheaton Industries on Sharp Street, the plastics division, for 11 years. But I did spend time in the Wheaton Glass facility during the strike of '83. I worked my regular shift on Sharp Street. I worked the second shift in the frosting department. So that paid for my honeymoon.
Yeah.
But probably for the last 4 or 5 years, I've ramped up in this type of photography. I've tried
that end result, what do you think the story? What did it actually tell? Give us the punchline.
I don't think there is a punchline.
Left open for interpretation.
The artist is the punchline. It's again, it's a tough thing to photograph physically, but more so emotionally. When you walk into a department that you were in when it was at 100% operational, and now to see certain things, it was an emotional experience.
This documentary is personal for me too. I'm from Millville. My whole family worked in the glass factory. I worked 2 summers in the glass factory. In fact, one of the plants we were in was where I worked. So I have a lot more invested in this. And we do a lot of documentaries as artists. We do them all over South Jersey, but this one's very personal for me. I have a lot invested in this one.
Thank you. I can't wait to see it.
I think this is about our history, you know, and that's the key. You know, someday, some years, some century maybe, all those buildings will be down. You know, as part of our history will be gone. And so it's important, and you do that with photos. You know, for generations to let them know what it was really like here at Millville at one time. You know, that's our history, and you can capture that, and you've done a great job in capturing. Because, you know, pictures do talk, believe it or not. You don't need to watch it on film. You know, pictures do talk, and I just want to thank you. I want to thank you personally, maintaining that history here in the city. You know, thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Okay, so under old business, we don't have any tonight, Mayor. Discussion of commissioners?
Old business?
We don't have any.
I don't have anything.
Correct.
Discussion of commissioners. Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So over the last 2 weeks, we continued on cutting throughout the city. We've completed over 20 locations. I know it probably seems like it's not enough, but really, you know, we're still cutting out there. It's a arduous task, but taking care of it. So on Saturday, June 9th, we had our first of 2 fishing tournaments this year, Hooked on Fishing. And I think I can speak for everyone here that we had a great time. Counselor came out, the mayor was there, and myself. We had a great time out there. It was 69 kids participated, and that's double the amount of last year. Actually, we caught 318 fish as opposed to 198. And I think it was a good time had by all. Wasn't it, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, it was. We had a lot of fun.
Just watching the kids out there casting their lures. Who knew that we had catfish out there in Hankins Pond? I never. Vice Mayor, you knew that?
I'm a fisherman.
A 12-pounder somebody caught out there. It was
really?
Pretty big.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So what we want to thank Millville Powell and Cumberland County 4-H for Hooked on Fishing. And I think Commissioner Pepitone actually had a chance to, what was that you pulled in? Was that a shark you were pulling in?
Sunny.
I wanted to do the Sunny, but they wouldn't let me.
You had a chance to do a visual
Tuna.
You brought in a tuna.
They actually had a machine that was connected to, like the line was actually connected to a machine. And as you're watching the screen, you're trying to reel the creature in. This sucker was heavy. But it was a lot of fun. A lot of kids got to do it, and a lot of adults that are around get an opportunity. And it was like really fishing. They actually harness you in and everything else. But
yeah.
Great event, Bruce.
Yeah, it was a great event. I had a good time bringing you a bunch of towels over there after you were finished doing that. That was fun. But actually, we're going to have another one on August 25th at the same location, Corson Park. So please come out. It was a blast. We could have been there all day. The kids they were so competitive with bringing those fish up and the sunnies, and it was a beautiful event. Now, upcoming, soon the parks will be going through our parks and adding much to the playground area. So we're going to be adding pieces to the playground areas that we see fit as we do an assessment of each park. Upcoming events, we have RVC meeting tomorrow, June 20th, 6 p.m. at the Senior Center, located at 1500 South 2nd Street. And we'll be discussing an upcoming event where we're going to be cleaning up Waltman Park and Buck Park. And we're actually going to be doing a hand mural. And as we do that hand mural, we'll be making a promise to the city and to everyone that we promise to keep the parks clean as well as the city. So that's going to be a nice event. If you can come out, everybody come out. Diane, you're going to be there, right? Yeah, you're doing the paint. Right? So how we're going to do the wall, right? It's going to be clear cover paint and our handprints, right?
On the walls, there's, if you're aware of what the walls are, there's some graffiti on them now. They paint gray, cement paint.
Great.
But we're getting the mural paint that is outdoor grade, and will roll people's hands. We'll have buckets of water to clean them. We'll be in control of that. But handprints, anybody in the community, even if they don't help with the cleanup, we want them to come out and put a hand on it. Then it's theirs. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, I think it will. You don't have to be a part of the RBC. Hopefully we want you to be a part of the RBC, but you don't have to be a part. If you're part of the city or you just love our city, come out and help us clean up the parks. Play Streets will be starting July 11th. Play Streets will be July 11th and will be every Wednesday until August 15th. And Play Streets will take place on Pine Street between 2nd and 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And also for the park cleanup for Waltman and Buck, it's going to take place, I didn't tell you the date, but it's going to take place on July 14th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to meet behind the library. And we'll get started from there, and we'll be hopefully in the midst of having a great time that day as we clean up the parks. We have 2 more summer concerts this year. Friday, July 13th, we'll have the Higbee's Heroes. And Friday, August 3rd, we'll have Polka Pete. All concerts will take place at Corson Park at 7 p.m. Please bring your own chair. Also, let us not forget about July 4th at the Motorsports Park. Free parking, free admission, fireworks, games, events, you name it, food trucks. It's all going to be out there. We want to give you something special to celebrate our history. So we hope you all come out, bring your families, bring a chair, and bring a great attitude. We're going to have a good time out there. And that is all from the Parks Department. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for my time.
Thank you, Commissioner Cooper. Commissioner Pepitone?
Bruce, real quick, tomorrow night, what time is that meeting, RBC?
6 p.m.
Thank you, sir.
At the Senior Center, and they're going to be serving baked ziti.
You'll be there. Serving food.
Baked ziti.
What a lord. Real quick, I'm out of school, thank God. I'm happy to be. I'm going to be able to get more involved in the city. Actually, last week, one of the things I got a chance to do was hang out with Mary Messick in her neighborhood. And we kind of hang out there for almost about an hour, and I got to meet some of the people. An hour and a half, okay, it went pretty quick. And you know, you learn when you're in a neighborhood like that, people are people. And individuals came up and spoke with me about some of the issues that they had, and they were grateful, I think, that somebody from the city representative was in there to kind of just listen to them. Miss Crouch, who had an issue, we found out moved into her neighborhood. She's with a great landlord. She's having a great time there. She wants to get involved. That leads into one of the things that I really want to start is the Neighborhood Watch program. Bruce and I talked a lot about it during the campaign to kind of get the community involved. I had a meeting with the chief. We had some dialogue. Also, I talked with the sheriff to find out. I found out that there's an actual program that comes from the county. I'm not sure how established it is still, but there's a nice booklet that exists. And I actually want to be part of the training for the individuals who want to get involved in Neighborhood Watch. We're excited about it. We're going to talk about, we want to make sure that there's an understanding of what the process is of how they could communicate with the police officers, as well as what the reasons are for a Neighborhood Watch. So that's something we're looking to start. Also, what I want to establish as well is I'm going to have like a catch basin for those individuals who want to be involved. So what I did was I talked to both the police chief and the sheriff, and anyone who wants to get involved in this. What I would like you to do is please call Crime Stoppers. The number is 856-825-2186. Again, 856-825-2186. If you're interested in learning about it, becoming part of it, becoming part of your own Neighborhood Watch, that's the Crime Stoppers line. I need you to leave your name, your address, and your telephone number. Once we pull that stuff together, we're going to get a group together and have a meeting and start to dialogue about what we want this to look like, as well as go through the actual training. So from the last meeting that we had was a very emotionally draining meeting, but it was necessary, and I think it's a good a kickstart for us to get involved in really creating a strong neighborhood watch. The other thing that I want to share is I had an opportunity to speak with Robin Barbetti, who is involved with the Trinity Mixed Martial Arts. It's an area, it's a building that actually exists on High Street, 902 High Street across from Rite Aid. They're interested in getting the PAL group to get involved in mixed martial arts, as well as, I'm not sure if I wouldn't understand whether their boxing and wrestling are already in place or they want to enhance it. But I'm meeting with them tomorrow at 3 o'clock to kind of discuss how we could have yet another venue for students children, young adults to get involved in something to stay off the street. So I'm excited about that as well. And with that, Mayor, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Commissioner Udalvis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In response to our recent regular meeting of the Commission on June 6th, feedback from our community members who had attended and utilized our platform for presentation highlighted the need for dialogue pertaining to the improvement of our community through various initiatives. Noting the many representatives of local organizations and programs who sought to share their objectives and missions with the City of Millville and its young citizens, the Department of Public Affairs will foster a platform of public relations to promote opportunities for local programs to present their organization's mission, resources, and accessibility to the community through a brief presentation to be featured during the regular meetings of the Commission. Through the City of Millville's regular meetings held at 7 o'clock p.m. in the Richard C. McCarthy Commission Chambers, the Commission aims to provide an authentic outlet for the citizens of Millville to learn about community programs that improve the quality of life for citizens of all ages directly from the volunteers who dedicate their time and efforts to endeavors of community service. In addition to utilizing the platforms of our live cable broadcasts and pre-recorded YouTube broadcasts, this forum will be utilized to create a resource for members of the community, families, and our community's young people to showcase the outstanding contributions of the volunteers in our city and to offer positive opportunities for involvement in such organizations and initiatives. Through seeking organizations to share their mission through the regular meeting presentations, the Department of Public Affairs will offer access to a nomination form available on the city website to nominate organizations and programs for recognition and the opportunity to present its mission to our community. Copies of the form will also be available at Millville City Hall. Please view our nomination forms for additional information on how to nominate an organization or program that is dedicating its efforts to improving the City of Millville. The Commission looks forward to utilizing this platform in recognizing our city's dedicated volunteers and offering opportunities for community involvement to our citizens, continuing the conversation of finding new and innovative ways to create a stronger network of support in our community. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Nice job.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Parent.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Just want to allude what Commissioner Udalvis is talking about. This is something that was discussed throughout the campaign. This type of information, public relations, we think is extremely important as a commission. There's a number of volunteers and volunteer organizations out there that maybe people just don't understand that are there to help them. And these are one of the things that we're going to be doing under Commissioner Udalvis. There's so many people that give so much of their time to our city that some people just don't know that it is available to help. We deal with that with the Holly City Development Corporation. I keep talking about that. There's something like 40-some different organizations under the Holly City Development umbrella, and they are very aggressive. The Play Street program is one of them, sponsored by the Holly City Development Corporation, and we can go on and on and on. And we have to do a better job letting the people be aware that there are places to go, there's things to do. At the last meeting, we heard the young people loud and clear, about what they would like to see. I've been at the Shine program, which a lot of the young people were part of. And, I'm not new to them. I know a lot of the young people, in the Center City and Third Ward area. And, it's been difficult for them. But I just think that it is important to let everyone know there's a lot of good things happening in the city. Everything's not bad. And we're going to stay with a positive end of it. We are committed to that. Once in a while, you have a bump in the road. But we're going to do all we can to move this city forward, and it's your city. I don't care where you live. It's part of your community, and we're going to work with it. And I want to thank Commissioner Davis for taking on that responsibility. It's a solid program that I think that we're all looking forward to. Let the people know that we appreciate the hundreds upon hundreds of volunteers that are out there every day.
Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
Are you saying the individuals who actually run the program are going to be able to present here? So they'll hear from the horse's mouth, or?
Well, it's actually a nomination for a
Okay.
recognition at the regular meeting, followed by the opportunity to present the mission to the community, and
That's
using this
awesome.
as a platform to really extend their message of what their mission statement is and
Great.
how they've affected our community in a positive way.
Nice thought, nice job.
It's like the volunteers here, you know. I mean, you're such a strong part of the community, you know. That's what makes our community, you know, and we appreciate it. We're going to let you know how much we appreciate it. Progress, Mr. Mayor, I have something probably else to say during the regular meeting. Until then, maybe. I might have something to say then.
Thank you. Well, as Commissioner Cooper has stated, we had the opportunity to go into the fishing tournament, which was outstanding. When you hear that the size of the young people that attended has doubled, it means that we're doing something right. And I was very excited for the Commissioner, Samantha Cruz, and the employees of your department, because there was a lot of employees there helping us out.
Yeah.
And it was a great, great Saturday morning. It was a lot of fun, and keep doing what you're doing, because things are looking up and up in that department. We have Mary here. Last Wednesday, I believe it was June 13, she was honored at the Chambers at the New Jersey Motorsports Park as our outstanding citizen.
Yes.
So I think that this is just good things that are happening within the city. Commissioner Vice Mayor Parent stated about Shine. We were able to visit Shine. I believe, was that last Friday?
That's right.
Last Friday, and I think Commissioner Udalvis was there prior to us. I'm not sure what day you were there, but they did say you were there. But what a great thing that's happening within Center City at 2nd and Pine, where these ladies, I saw any ladies, adult ladies, bring in these young kids. I mean, I saw toddlers, I don't know, 3 years old.
They're preschool.
Preschool, well then that's 5 or 4 or 5. So to young men and young women, and what they do, and the respect that those kids show, all right, we're not passing out the apples until everybody quiets down. And I need you older kids over there to help me out with these younger kids. It was fantastic. It was excellent to see that within the city. And exactly what the mayor and all of us are saying up here is that those groups that we have within the city of Millville, as we all mentioned, the 40 plus, we need them, just like we need your partners in the arts. We need everybody so that this city can move forward. And I'm so excited that as of June 2018, we've only been in for 6 months, we're moving things forward. I think all of us here have a positive attitude. I'm looking forward for the next 6 months, and I think you're going to see a lot of good things happening within the city. If you're not going to be here for the 7 o'clock meeting, I expect you to be at the 6 o'clock Thrive Millville Community Conversation on Gangs, Guns, and Violence. As you know, Madam Prosecutor was here the last commission meeting, and I think if you're not going to be here, this is something to go to and get some good information. Of course, we're having a meeting tonight. We can't attend unless one of you or lady wants to play hooky and go. But I think it's something good for our residents to attend and learn about, or at least give their concerns about what's going on within the city of Millville. That's all I have. Madam Clerk?
Okay.
New business.
There's no new business, Mayor.
All right, we've now reached the public comment portion of our meeting. Anyone who would like to address this commission, please go to the podium, state your name, and address your concerns. And please limit your comments to 5 minutes.
So good evening. Thank you very much, Commissioners and Mayor, for all your hard work, and I appreciate being able to come out and speak before you. My name is Courtney Reese. Sorry about that. My name is Courtney Reese, and I'm the director at the Millville Public Library. And we're about to embark on a really big project at the library. I think most of people in the room are aware that our ultimate goal is to expand the library, become someplace larger, and become something more of a community center where we can do some of the things that you all were just talking about that you'd like to see happen in Millville. And in order to do that, one of the things that we want to do is write a strategic plan. We want to make sure that we know where we're going, and we want to make sure that we're bringing the community along with us. And one of the ways that we're going to do that, and I have already distributed a few of these surveys out today, one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be surveying the community. We're going to be surveying you all. And anyone that comes in here today, I'll be leaving some survey forms with them. We'll be surveying our community partners, and of course we'll be surveying our library patrons as well. And we'll be doing some focus groups and some other things like that to make sure that we really get the information that we need so that when our library gets done with that strategic plan, it really reflects the needs and desires of our community. So I just wanted to say thank you very much again for all the things that you do, and I hope you'll participate in our survey so that we can get the strategic plan off the road. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A little out of order, but Mayor, I just had a couple comments I wanted to make. Jim Schroeder, City Attorney, but not in my capacity as City Attorney, just as a person in and around Millville. A couple weekends, or I guess a couple weeks ago, after the fishing tournament, I ran into some young kids that I grew up with their parents, and we started talking about Millville. They knew I was down here, and they said, "Oh, we had a sleepover at our cousins in Millville, and we got to go to this fishing tournament, and we caught more fish than," and they were there hanging out with their cousins, and they had such a great time. So it's great to hear that, sitting up in a diner in Mays Landing and hearing people raving about Millville. The other thing I'll tell you is just, partaking for Father's Day weekend. I talked my family into coming down here to the racetrack. You may or may not know that this weekend on Saturday, there was a NASCAR race. It was the second time the JV circuit, essentially, for NASCAR has come through here. They ran a 125 race. They had a BMW race, and we were there at the track. And two things I noticed about being in town. One was we had to get some shopping in while we were here. So I was in the car. I saw a lot of the same people, or several same people that I saw at the track. I saw at Union Lake before we went into Moe's, which is my boy's favorite place to come down and eat down here. But there were so many people. They were having such a great time and had so many great things to say about Millville and being there. And one person in particular said, we stayed at the hotel at the track, which is over top of the NASCAR garages, overlooking the pit. And these people apparently go to 4 or 5 different races a year. They said there is nowhere else on the East Coast that you can have the same experience where you wake up in the morning and there's a NASCAR revving directly underneath you, and then you stand on a balcony looking directly down on the pit. They're saying there's no place else like this Millville track. So we were there for the NASCAR race. Other friends of mine were there racing go-karts and teaching kids how to race go-karts. Another group of people I knew was across the street riding motocross. And then I didn't know until yesterday, another friend was flying in. They were up at Medford Airport, and they flew down because they wanted to see the Army Air Museum. And they ate at Flightline, and they went there. So, it's just neat to see people from outside of town really get excited about Millville and then begin to talk about that. We forget that sometimes, in your own house, sometimes you forget how wonderful things are. And it was just really exciting for me this weekend to hear a lot of that feedback, and I wanted you to know about it.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? I close the public comment portion of this meeting. Comments of commissioners?
None, Mr.
Commissioner Cooper?
None, Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner Pepitone?
None, already done.
Commissioner Galvis?
I'd like to thank Mr. Horan and our photographers and Diane from RRCA who had presented to us this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome. Vice Mayor?
No, fine.
Mr. Horn, you just improved yourself even more. I mean, from last time I saw this to this, I mean, it's amazing. The pictures were outstanding, and my dad worked there for 30 years. So I know what you're talking about inside of Wheaton's. As a kid, I got to visit when he was working 11:30 to 7, or yeah, 11:30 to 8:30 or whatever, 7:30. I used to take dinner to my mom at 2:30 in the morning. He would make my mom make them rice and beans and pork chops, and we delivered it at 2:30. Yeah. So, but great things. Any other comments? No. Motion to adjourn.
Well, we're doing a closed session, correct?
Okay.
Do we need to add GGI to this resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we're good. Go ahead.
So we have a resolution authorizing a closed session for the following matters: GGI under litigation, the CDBG loans, and other similar programs under attorney-client privilege, and roles and duties of commissioners under the deliberative process.
Make a motion to accept that.
Mr. Mayor, move the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call.
Commissioner Pepitone?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perrin?
Yes.
Commissioner Udalvis?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Santiago?
Yes.
Okay, motion.
Do you want this now or drop it off? Okay.
I'll see you Monday night.
Thank you. We'll be out soon. Just a second. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. You all right?
See you Monday. Good luck with that, sir.
to adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn. Work session meeting?
So
Motion to
moved.
adjourn.
All in favor?
And you have- I just need a second.
Second?
Second the motion.
McDonald.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good meeting back there.